In 2005, I had it all. I had become a published author. I worked with Fortune 500 companies. My business won the Tom Peters Wow Award. And happiness at home, giving birth to my beautiful boy, Noah, and my 2 adorable daughters adopted from China. Life was good until it wasn't. I got more and more ill as the weeks went on, until finally 8 months later, I ended up in the ER after speaking in Atlantic City. I was taken immediately to the emergency room.
So Nancy was transferred into us with abnormal liver blood tests, and she was quite ill when she arrived here. And within a matter of a few hours, we determined that Nancy actually had liver failure. Her liver wasn't working correctly, and she had developed this unusual form of liver failure, which is called acute liver failure. And this is an illness that occurs in patients who have no prior history of liver injury. And as a consequence of some exposure to a virus or some other damaging effect to the liver actually just becomes dead tissue within a matter of a few days to a few weeks.
I had multiple complications while I was hospitalized for a combined period of 6 months.
At that time, the only thing that was going to save Nancy was a liver transplant.
I had actually coded twice during my surgery, and the second time, I actually was clinically dead for more than 2 minutes. Apparently, 2 weeks after my organ transplant, when I was still in an induced coma, I underwent emergency brain surgery for an abscess that formed on my brain.
In some patients who develop acute liver failure, they can also develop a problem where their brain begins to swell with fluid, and they develop a condition called cerebral edema.
I wasn't even aware that I had had that until I woke up from my coma and my brother actually told me, and half my head was shaved.
Unfortunately, as in Nancy's case, many patients who suffer this devastating acute liver injury require significant periods of time of rehabilitation. A lot of that rehabilitation takes place here in the hospital. These patients are as close to death as one can be before their liver transplant. They spend a lot of time lying still in a bed.
In August, I was taken from rehab back to Beth Israel for a routine CAT scan, and I learned from the radiologist there that I had been the subject of the Mortality and Morbidity Conference of 2005. That was not a speaking engagement that was on my bucket list. You would think that after all of this, I'd want to reinvent my life. I don't. What I've done is to repurpose my life. I've gotten clear on its mission, and I help others to do the same.